Okay, if you listened to the podcast yesterday, you know that Aram and I were not in Central New York graduating college. Now, here on this Tuesday, September 21st, we've got Peter Apple back from his graduation. And I don't want to pepper you about that, graduating a year and a half late. What I do want to pepper you about is wearing your best party shirt to an outdoor frat style party where you're bound to get dirty. You didn't wear your elite party shirt to a club. And for that, you're an idiot.
Agreed. But the shirt actually did well. No stains. It's all good. I wore it because it was festive. You know, we're up at Syracuse, orange and blue, perfect colors, repping Jordan, undefeated in the finals. Was having a great day. No stains. So we're good.
They make nice Jordan shirts.
Oh, it's a gorgeous shirt. Dude, you know what? I don't love the shirt that much.
You just said it was
called elite. I appreciate that. I would actually refer to it as one of my lesser worn shirts because it just doesn't really fit anything. It's more festive because it's got huge stripes and I don't love the shirt.
So hold on. You say it's orange. In every picture, it really looks salmon.
I see no orange.
That's the thing. Everyone was saying that's not even orange. And I spent most of the tailgate convincing people that it was orange. And it wasn't.
How many nice shirts did you get from people?
Nice shirts did I get?
Like how many people said
nice shirt?
Never got nice shirt. Got more like, look at your shirt.
Ooh. He just got burned.
But I did graduate from Syracuse University. You're looking at a doctor. Basically, isn't that no, not doctorate, PhD. No. I feel like it though.
You got a bachelor's in sport management,
minor in finance, dick.
PhD in the eye test, also.
Minor in finance. I'm a financial genius plus a sports god.
Hey man,
I'm so well rounded.
I understand. We are going to look in hindsight, the three of us, and talk about where we went wrong and what we did exceptionally well before the season even began. When we were Project the Plate, episode 3 and 4 was an MLB season gambling preview, the first 2 days before opening day. And the player props one was the one that we had the most fun with. We picked a favorite and a dark horse for the AL and NL MVP, the Cy Young, the Rookie of the Year, the Manager of the Year. What else do we do? The strikeout leader, the home run leader, and the saves leader. Man.
Exactly.
We did well.
We did well. We did pretty well. There were some takes that couldn't have been more wrong, but we had some incredible spot on takes, and we're using all the bets from PointsBet. Let's just dive into all of the awards.
Yeah. Let's start with the MVP. We'll start on the American League side. And what we did when we went through it was we picked a favorite and a dark horse. So one of the 3 to 5 odds-on favorites, whoever we thought was genuinely going to win the award. And then we picked a dark horse, the value pick. So starting with the AL MVP, again, all current odds are from PointsBet. All preseason odds came from PointsBet as well. Did they? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So preseason odds came from PointsBet. Current odds came from PointsBet. And yes, let's start with the American League MVP. I think it was a clean sweep, right? All three of us had Trout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing with that though is we were basically betting on Trout being healthy, and the odds were more, there was a higher chance of him being healthy than being hurt, right? Because if he's healthy, he wins the MVP. Maybe. We did not predict Shohei Ohtani. Dude, there's just no way. There's no way to predict Shohei Ohtani. I think it would be well, we kind of did. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But dude, I mean, even before Trout got hurt, 191 WRC plus, he was hitting 333. He had 8 home runs. Unless Shohei, like you said, did what he did, I think Mike Trout was on his way to winning MVP. But we also had a couple predictions that looked pretty good.
Yeah, Aram. Plus 2,000 Shohei Ohtani to win American League MVP. Eat shit.
I endorsed it.
Take a bow. Stand up, man. Our co-host Jack McMullen predicted plus 2,000 Shohei Ohtani to win MVP, And now odds courtesy of PointsBet, he is now minus 5,000 and is having the greatest season in MLB history.
Minus 5,000.
Minus 5,000.
So $5,000 you have to lay down to win $100 for those who are smart enough to not frequently gamble on minus 5,000 odds. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is there someone out there that you think just pulled up the Brinks truck to the casino and said, I want 5,000 to win a Benjamin on Shohei Ohtani?
I've seen people doing that with like college football money lines.
Oh, that's the worst idea ever.
No, like Alabama against Mercer, like they'll bet $10,000 to win, I don't know, 20. Like
it's going to win.
It's a good
$20.
But that's the stupidest bet because, I mean, everyone knows in sports, anything can happen. Obviously, Alabama versus Mercer, Alabama's most likely going to win. Right. But to lay those kind of odds on any game, I mean, that's even when I'm doing the best bets on TikTok and stuff. Like Aram, you and I talk about all the time, like these minus 350 lines.
It's baseball.
Garrett Cole just gave up 7 earned runs against the Indians against Eli Morgan. They were minus 400.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to lose. A baseball game should never be that fat. So never bet on a minus 300, 400 money line ever.
Not gambling advice.
Not gambling advice, though.
Never gambling advice. The thing with Shohei, the thing we talked about in the preseason was how is Joe Madden going to use Shohei Ohtani? I think what that conversation shifted to as the season went from how is Joe Madden going to use Shohei to how durable is Shohei going to be?
How much can he do? Literally, how much can he do is the question.
How much can he do of both? And we saw it this weekend. He threw 8 innings, and after his 8th inning of work, he hit in the 9th inning. Like, how fucked up is that?
Not even both. How about the fact that without Trout, I mean, now Brandon Marsh probably has an edge on him, but he was their best base runner too. So he's also doing it on the base paths better than anybody else. It's every facet of the game. It's unbelievable.
And I think Shohei could even improve on the mound. If he gets better on the road, because he has an ERA over 5 on the road and an ERA near 2 at home. I think if he just gets a little bit better on the road, he could be in the 2s next year while hitting 40 home runs.
Command a little bit better, and he'll be. Oh my gosh!
Here's the thing with Shohei. Here's the thing with Shohei. Yes, it's a very, very long shot, but in the AL Cy Young race, he's also 5th in that race.
Pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts.
It's stupid. He's got, granted, the innings are not there, but the strikeouts per 9, the ERA is there, the whiffs, just the raw stuff. Looking at that, I mean, that guy frequents Pitching Ninja, and oh, by the way, he's got 44 bombs. But let's go to the National League MVP.
Wait, can I have a little bit of credit for going with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the beginning of the year as my dark horse at plus 2,500? He's leading the league in home runs, leading all of Major League Baseball. He's leading all of Major League Baseball in batting average at 321. He's leading all of Major League Baseball in hits, and he's 8 RBIs away from the top spot there. He's been the best hitter in baseball this year, and I said he was going to provide a Stanton-esque type season, as in the 2018 season where he hit 59, 58 jacks.
Still better.
This
season's better. I would take this Vladdy season over that.
Okay. I was saying in terms of like a power, because you guys remember in spring training when he was lighting up baseballs.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is you were even more right, because he's been better than you even said he was going to be. You said he was going to be Stanton's best season, and I think he's been better than that. So, yeah, no, I'll give you credit on that one. I can't believe the odds were that good. I mean, hindsight's 2020, but man, I mean, you said it then. It was good value.
The problem is he's probably not going to win.
No, because there's a freak on earth.
Yeah, that's
the American League as well.
Any other year, right? If Vladdy wins the Triple
Crown, cruises.
He still might not win, but with
Trout
in 2012, right? His year would have won MVP any other year, but Miggy hit for the Triple Crown. So it's like, what is done less? The Triple Crown is done less than what Trout did in his rookie season. But what Shohei is doing is the first. It's one of one. The Triple Crown is one of 2 since the late 70s.
Yep. And Vladdy could win the MLB Triple Crown, but until he steps foot on the mound and has an ERA near 3, he just can't win it. I'm sorry. And the odds just reflect that.
Defense, or just plays defense a little bit.
Yeah. But he actually hasn't been terrible defensively. He's gotten better over the season. Yeah. Still, have you guys noticed that he's not that good at stretching to catch the ball. He always stretches too early. It's consistent the whole season.
He's just an early stretcher.
I remember doing it in high school. It's such an easy thing, but he always overstretches. I don't know. Just thought I'd mention that.
Early stretching.
Early stretching.
You hear that, Blue Jays? Fix his stretching.
Yeah.
Man. All right. NL MVP. Let's do it. I had Juan Soto, which looks good. I kind of just want to take a screenshot of his Savant page and put it up right here because this guy is just red. Like, that's what that is. We were all over the board in terms of the NL MVP, and did any of us get it right?
Nope.
Yeah, Aram and I had Mookie at plus 750. You had Juan Soto. Juan Soto is actually fourth right now. In terms of the odds, Mookie's not in the top 10 right now. But I mean, Mookie, I feel like has had such an underrated season this year. 140 WRC plus. He's walking almost as much as he's striking out. He still remains one of the best defenders. The power,
and he's playing second.
Yeah. I think
they're playing him in multiple spots. They're playing him in multiple spots too. He had to emergency play second base and did a good job over there. Like the value has been unbelievable. It's just, he's one of those instances where I feel like he sets the bar against himself. Like we're pitting him against himself. And to his standards, I mean, he had one of the best offensive seasons, or all around seasons, that we've seen in a very long time in terms of WAR, in terms of everything you look at. So when he's not quite there, it seems worse. I think you're right, though. I mean, it's amazing how good he's still been for how little we're talking about him. I went Mookie as well, especially with how good he looked with the Dodgers. And then my dark horse doesn't look too great either. I mean, it wasn't bad. He got hurt, but, you know, it's just one of those tough ones where I think Juan Soto, honestly, should be in the top three. He would be if it weren't for his team being the worst ever. Honestly, I really think that would be the case. Freddie Freeman, slow start for me, got hot, but it's just going to be too little too late in the NL.
Yeah. Same with me. I had Corey Seager as my dark horse. I thought he was going to come back. He's a free agent after the year. I thought he was going to have an incredible season. I wasn't positive he's going to win the MVP, but I thought he was going to blow up, similar to what happened with Correa. I thought that was actually going to happen to Seager, and he's still been good, but 129 WRC plus. He's got an 840 OPS. He's just dealt with some injuries this year. He hasn't been as good defensively as he once was, but he's still a good defender, and he's going to get a boatload of money when he actually becomes a free agent.
Yeah, I had Christian Yelich at plus 1,200. That was just a flub. I thought he was going to come back.
I thought so too. We all did, though. I mean, it's injuries, man. Like his hip, he's got to sit in that back hip. I just don't know I hope he figures it out and comes back healthy next year, because he's just so fun to watch.
Is it a hip thing or is it a
back
thing?
I think it's just a lot of everything.
I really think it's the back still affecting him too. And he's such a big lower half guy that when your lower half is not really able to work at 100%, you're going to struggle. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Yelich. He's just lacking the explosion. He's seeing the ball well. He's walking.
Right.
He's K'ing a little bit more, but I think it's just because the bat speed's not there. He's a big lower half guy. And like Peter said, we were talking about that. I remember when we were going to the Mets Yankees game, like that's a guy that needs to be able to get in his back hip. And if it's affecting him, I wouldn't be surprised, because it goes right into your back as well.
That swing, as opposed to many, many others in baseball, I think is based on his athleticism more than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He's so much lower body. He's so much torque, right? That's a very athletic swing. And if you're not 100% athletically, you're screwed. And I think the power numbers best speak to that. He's got 8 bombs this year in 106 games. He's got 8 bombs.
Milwaukee too.
Right. That's just not Christian Yelich. Like, that is, even if Christian Yelich was playing C- grade Christian Yelich, that's not a healthy Yelich.
It's crazy. The Brewers, imagine a 2018, 2019 Yelich on this Brewers team.
Oh, dude.
They're the odds-on favorites.
Yeah.
The Dodgers is still pretty good.
I think they're the odds-on favorites. If you have MVP Yelich.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the odds would be, but if they weren't the favorites, I'd say that's sick value and I'd be taking it.
Yeah. Also, Aram, before we move on to Cy Young, I would make fun of you, but I don't think you actually deserve it, because Giancarlo Stanton has actually had a really good year, and you predicted that he was going to be healthy all year, and he was. I just think, like when MVP.
You know what? You make fun of me. It's at your expense too. You're paying that. You're
exactly. That's why I'm not going to make fun of you, but it was actually a decent call. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. I honestly thought if he'd be healthy for the whole year, he'd be better than he is this year. I think it's a big win that he's been healthy, but he has not been that elite Stanton we've seen, but he's still been a really, really good player this year.
So Aram and I had the same AL Cy Young favorite. Peter cheated and picked two. One was so off and one was pretty good. Let's start with the one that was so off and then pretty good with you, Pete.
I had Lucas Giolito at plus 450. 3.7 ERA, 3.89 FIP. Just walks a lot of guys. His overall underlying metrics indicate that he's been slightly unlucky. So maybe I was a year early, but Lucas
He didn't
Giolito,
say that. He didn't say that.
I thought he was going to take a big step forward. Yeah, I can use advanced analytics sometimes to support an argument.
It's similar to the Aaron Nola situation, right?
I could support it. I could say he has not had a good year this year, but his underlying metrics may indicate that next year he may be a bit better. But that was just kind of a whiff. I thought with Grandal, he would just take that leap and become one of the best pitchers in the American League. And he's arguably the third or fourth best pitcher on his own team. So, but still a pretty good season from Giolito.
He's missing over the plate all the time.
Oh my God. I watch him all the time. It's like everything is just middle, everything. It's,
you're taught when you're 12 years old, if you're going to miss with a changeup, it better be in the dirt.
Yeah. But the thing is, his stuff is so good. He's missing middle and he's still having a pretty decent year.
He's one of 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys in Major League Baseball that can actually throw a calculated high changeup.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. But it's not working.
I did go Garrett Cole plus 350, but he might have just blown his chances. I mean, like I said, he allowed 7 earned runs against the Indians to raise his ERA to 3.03. But I watched the game. It was a bunch of tweeners and bloops, and I know 10 hits, 7 earned runs on the stat line doesn't look great. But I watched the game.
Well, that's a lot of tweeners and bloops.
Yeah, it was a lot of tweeters and bloops. Yeah,
a record of tweeners and bloops.
Oh my,
he did look good at all. I mean, but he's still throwing 99. He'll probably finish second. I mean, let's see how Robbie Ray pitches tonight. And if Robbie Ray gets blown up by the Rays, maybe the odds are actually more in Cole's favor again. But yeah, Cole is second to Robbie Ray in the odds according to PointsBet.
It's crazy that it's that down to the wire. Sorry, Jack. I was gonna say it's crazy that it's just that down to the wire that we're watching start to start right now. Like, and it has an impact on how things are going to finish.
Same in the National League too. It's the races are so close.
Yeah,
I love it.
This podcast is going to come out after the greatest pitching matchup of all time, Shane Baz's MLB debut, and Robbie Ray, who's trying to solidify his American League Cy Young. One guy that was hurt in the AL Central early on that was dominating before he was hurt was Aram in my odds-on favorite to win the AL Cy Young. Shane Bieber looked the part, absolutely looked the part, just like we were anticipating him looking. And then he got hurt. So a lot like the Mike Trout thing.
Yeah, it's actually exactly like the Mike Trout thing. He looked amazing, striking out everybody, and then just got hurt. And can't control that.
My dark horse too. Yeah, my dark horse. I'm just gonna get it out there before you bring, because I know you were sitting on this one, Jack. But Jesus Luzardo at plus 10,000 for the AL Cy Young was my dark horse, and doesn't look great. But at the end of the day, we'll never know because he got traded to the National League. We'll never know where he would have finished.
A great point.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Could have thrown 8 straight no-hitters for the A's.
Well, we just don't know. I think some of the peripherals look good.
What did his xFIP say?
Good. The curveball whiff rate is at about 56%. I mean, that's stuff that voters look at, and he could have snuck into the AL Cy Young, and we'll never know now. And the thing is the National League's loaded, and that's why it's just not fair for him. The National League's loaded. He's not getting the same kind of voting opportunity there. We'll never know. I mean, I'll take the L, but we'll never know.
It was a great pick.
The way that you feel about whoever you just mentioned, Luzardo, is the same way I think Peter feels about Zach Plesac. A lot of the underlying stuff might say that he's not necessarily. I can't get through that. Peter picked Zach Plesac as his
I went Zach Plesac at plus 1,800. My thinking was, the Kluber to the Bauer to the Bieber to the Plesac. And instead of taking a big step forward, he just took a big step back. He got hurt this year. He has a 4.59 ERA in 131 innings. I've watched a couple of his starts. It's just not what I expected. I thought he was, like I said, big step forward, but instead, big step back. We'll see if he's better next year. But I'm not going to be on him for AL Cy Young next year. That's all I can say.
No, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah. He's got the stuff to get through a rough year. That's without a doubt. One guy that was all stuff before this year and turned it into some awesomeness was Tyler Glassnow, who was my dark horse. I went relatively conservative. Glassnow was plus 900 at the preseason. So that is the lower odds, not necessarily tremendous value, but still plus 900 to win the AL Cy Young. He looked really good, and then he tore his UCL. So I'll wear both of those. I'll wear Bieber, I'll wear Glassnow, and we'll move on, and we'll be stronger because of it.
And I remember when I was listening back on the podcast, you said Glassnow was going to take a big jump this year because he added that third pitch, and he did, and it looked absolutely unhittable. And then they said no more spider tech, and he got hurt.
Yeah. NL Cy Young was a clean sweep from all of us and injuries. Jacob deGrom, how could you not bet otherwise?
1.08 ERA in 92 innings. 1.08 ERA through 92 innings. He might still win it somehow.
What's funny is I said, I went back to listen to see some of our picks. And the one thing I said on there that I think we all agreed with was the only person that can keep Jacob deGrom from winning the NL Cy Young is Jacob deGrom. And that's exactly what happened is he just unfortunately got hurt. He doesn't get hurt. It would be unanimous. It wouldn't even be discussed. There wouldn't even be odds offered. If Ohtani is a lock at minus 5,000, they would not have even put a lineup for deGrom. So it just was unfortunate. Can't do anything about injuries. And one thing we always say we're never going to do here, we don't predict injuries. So we're always disregarding that when we're doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So my dark horse was incredibly off. Anybody else? Aaron Nola was my dark horse.
Oh, your underlying metrics.
I really like this stuff from Nola because when he's on, I mean, Pete, we've talked about it. Like this guy's stuff is just so good.
It's a 4-pitch mix.
Not that on.
Yeah. It's a 4-pitch mix that works, but he's just given up a lot of home runs this year. His command has not been the same that it once was. I still think that he'll be good again next year. I don't think that was a bad pick. We've been shitting on Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola is good. He's really good pitcher.
He's really good.
He's a great pitcher. He's just had a bit of a tough year this year.
Yeah, just missing spots. And people point towards the walk rate. Yeah, the walk rate's solid. It's actually been better, but watching those starts, it's just a matter of where the catcher's set up, where Realmuto's set up, and where the pitch ends up. It's a big difference. And even JT said it, Nola said it, and Nola said he was tugging his pitches. So it seems like he knows what the issue is, and I'm interested to see how he bounces back next year. But it seems like he's been coming alive a little bit over the last few starts.
Peter Apple, can you stand up and take a bow real quick for your NL Cy Young dark horse?
Yes, I can, sir.
Corbin Burns of the Milwaukee Brewers. He is not the odds-on favorite right now. Max Scherzer is because Max Scherzer looks like Jacob deGrom and Nolan Ryan had a baby in the second half. But Corbin Burns is not too far behind.
Plus 4,000. Plus 4,000. Come on. I mean, you see the Baseball Savant page. People are even arguing that he should win the MVP. I don't think so. And I actually do think that Scherzer should win the Cy Young because I think since he went over to the Dodgers, first, he has not lost a game and he has been simply unhittable. And the Dodgers really needed him once Bauer went down. So I think he's just been more impactful a little bit than Burns. So I actually would give it to Scherzer. But if Burns can put together a couple insane starts, it's going to be really, really close. And the analytics people, they think Corbin Burns should be MVP because you look at similar to Soto, the Baseball Savant page is gushing blood. It's so red.
Let's clarify something real quick. Trevor Bauer didn't go down. Trevor Bauer took himself down.
Trevor Bauer is just down.
Trevor Bauer's done. He's a piece of shit and he should be done.
Do you think he's done forever?
Yeah.
You don't think he'll ever pitch again in Major League Baseball? Like over under a half baseball thrown for Bauer for his career?
Baseball.
Under. What do you think, Aram? Over under a half baseball thrown?
You know, I wish I knew enough about what goes into this, but I would say with the way he likes to dig his heels in, you know, you see Marcell Ozuna, he's like accepting a program and he's going to therapy and counseling, and that's your way in. Whether you think that they deserve to be back or not, that's your way in. I don't see Trevor Bauer willing to do anything like that anyways, even if there was an opportunity. So I'm going to side with Jack there. I don't think we see him back in baseball. And it's not like he was this likable guy before that this alter ego came out. Like nobody liked him in the clubhouse anyway. So it's just kind of just tipped the scale all the way over, which was already leaning pretty hard.
That's the problem. I just don't know enough about this situation. I'll just side with you guys because you guys are generally right, even though I got Corbin Burns, so suck it. But
yeah, true. Who is your dark horse, Aram?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Injuries. This guy could have been good, man. This guy could have been good. It's a story of this podcast episode, but Zach Gallen at plus 5,000. He was good. He was good early on. Had some really good starts and just went down, man, and just hasn't been the same since he came back. Weird Zach Gallen stat I saw the other day. Despite being out for so long, he still leads the league in pickoffs. Like not picking guys off like out, but just throwing over. I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. Now, every time I watch, I'm going to get like annoyed when he throws
that
out.
Has to be excruciating for Diamondbacks fans.
Oh my God. It's like you're losing every game. And then the one day a week that you're excited, your ace comes in and he picks off to first 30 times. That's crazy.
I actually do like Zach Gallen. I think Zach Gallen is going to be actually really good next year. No, I think he's a really very talented pitcher. So that wasn't a bad pick, especially at plus 5,000. Like we were looking for absolute dark horses, and that was a good dark horse, better than his.
Yeah, it's not a Jack McMullen plus 900 dark horse.
American League Rookie of the Year. Aram and I were pretty good with this one. Peter was pretty bad with this one. But this is just a bad race in general. Randy Arozarena is favored. He made his MLB debut in 2018. That was a great tweet that you had earlier today, Aram. Arozarena made his MLB debut in 2018.
No, this was Adolis.
Oh, Adolis Garcia. Yeah. Okay. Here, you say it.
I'm surprised that tweet didn't do better, by the way. I thought that was the craziest thing ever. I think people didn't realize how
it was almost too crazy.
It was almost too crazy. So Adolis Garcia made his MLB, his Major League Baseball debut in 2018. Wander Franco made his professional debut in rookie ball in 2018. And those two guys are competing for Rookie of the Year. I know Wander falls out now because of the injury, but if he played these last 4 weeks or so, he would have been in that conversation. I think he probably should have won it. 8 years apart, we're pitting these guys against each other, and we're pitting a guy who made his major league debut, got his first at bat when 17-year-old Wander Franco was first getting his feet wet in professional baseball. MLB's got to figure out their rookie qualifications and their rookie rules, in my opinion.
Well, so does the NBA. If we're talking about the MLB, then Ben Simmons and Donovan.
He didn't play a game.
Okay, but like
Adolis played in three. Now this is his third season of playing on a field. I understand it's not a lot of games, but he has stepped on a baseball field in 3 separate seasons. That being said, I still think Adolis should get it over Arozarena, and that's an entirely different conversation we can have.
Adolis has had such a slow second half. Yeah, he's had such a slow second half. But I agree, he's been phenomenal, and he's such an underrated defender too.
So good out there,
so good on center.
So I had Wander Franco plus 1,000. It was high odds, but I just thought he was going to win the Rookie of the Year. I'm fine with that. I'll take that pick. Aram, you had Ryan Mountcastle, which is a very solid pick, and then very Peter, solid. You had Alex Kirilloff, who kind of fell flat, but so did the Twins.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Kirilloff, he's just slightly disappointing. He's out now for the season with a wrist injury for the Twins. Was just less than impressive. I mean, an on-base percentage under 300. He hit some home runs. He slugged a little bit. I just thought he was actually going to be really good this year, but he's still a good prospect. He's a first-round pick. He's going to come back next year, and I think he's going to be better. I might have been just a year too early. And my dark horse, I was definitely just way too early on Bobby Witt Jr. at plus 2,500. He just didn't even debut.
To be fair, he didn't play. Yeah, so just like, boy.
But now he's our number 1 prospect on your top 100 prospects list. He's my favorite prospect in baseball, I think, next year. But the thing is,
the AAA MVP, we just didn't give picks for that.
Yeah.
Please tell me Wander Franco won't somehow also have rookie eligibility next year. Like, will he also be able to win the Rookie of the Year next year?
I don't think so.
Because I think Bobby Witt will win it next year. And I also think that I have a really hot take. I think Wander Franco will be a top 5 shortstop by the end of next year.
I agree. I agree, honestly.
I even think he's going to be number 2, but I don't want to say that. Okay,
we need a new podcast for that one. New episode for that one.
He's so amazing at everything. Everything.
I feel like Wander top 5 shortstop is becoming more lukewarm a take as we go on.
Yeah.
That's why I have to go up to 2 because I feel like that's not even that hot anymore.
Credit there. Yeah. He's not pretending that 5's a hot take. He's going all in on 2. I want to give a little bit of credit to myself on the Mountcastle thing because honestly, I think he deserves more consideration than he's getting. He just hit 30 the other day. Just hit 30. I know he doesn't play defense, but neither does Randy Arozarena. And the second half, I know people say it's a full year award. I get it. But if this season somehow endured for another month, I think Ryan Mountcastle runs away with it. In the second half, he's slashing 276, 333, 584, 917 OPS. He has 16 jacks, K rate cut down. I know he's not great at defense, but Arozarena sucks in the corner. Mountcastle sucks in the corners and is okay at first. So I like a guy that can move around a little bit. At least don't suck at one spot. I think Mountcastle's offensive production this year really hasn't been acknowledged enough. And then the dark horse, he just didn't have the volume, but I've been really impressed with him. My dark horse was Alejandro Kirk at plus 5,500. Unfortunately, just didn't have the volume, but a 121 WRC plus as a catcher, 10% walk rate, 12% K rate. I mean, really, really impressive year. And again, I take chances here, unlike Jack, plus 5,500. And an American League catcher has not won Rookie of the Year since 1990. That was literally 31 years ago, and it was Sandy Alomar Jr., I believe. And that's what you call going out on a limb.
Well, Jack, maybe you should have taken your own advice and obviously not picked him.
No, it was
no.
Yeah, do me a favor, jackass, and sit in your goddamn seat and wait for the NL Rookie of the Year. Because it's going to be awesome. My dark horse kicked your dark horse's ass. Okay.
Yeah.
My AL Rookie of the Year dark horse was a little side conversation. If you couldn't tell, I got close to the mic and I said, my AL Rookie of the Year dark horse. Shit. As we're recording now on a Tuesday afternoon, Sal Perez just hit a 2-run shot.
It's Monday afternoon. As we record on Monday afternoon, Sal Perez just hit a 2-run shot. 7-0 Kansas City over Tristan McKenzie in the 5th. Oof. But I had Andrew Vaughn and Taylor Trammell, both very high odds. Vaughn, I like. Trammell, I just wish that Kelenic wasn't blocking him the last month. He wasn't going to win it, but he would be better for the Mariners right now than Kelenic has been.
Yes.
Did I read something? Has Kelenic been better lately?
He has been better lately.
That's what I saw recently.
2 home run game the other day. But I agree. I mean, up to this point, the Mariners are probably in a better position. I mean, who knows how much, but if they played Taylor Trammell, but they've prioritized the development of Kelenic, and you know what, that could end up boding well for them long term. And you know, this Mariners team wasn't going to go anywhere too far anyways. Trammell, I just don't believe in the offensive profile there, and he's limited to a corner. And when you don't hit for that much power and you're limited to a corner, I don't really see the allure with Taylor Trammell.
I'd say the Mariners should trade him for maybe some pitching or possibly an infielder, but
that guy's been passed.
I feel bad for Trammell. Yeah, he's been traded 600 times, so he needs a home. Let him find his home.
Peter, your NL Rookie of the Year is one of my favorite players.
I had Dylan Carlson at plus 700, and he's had a pretty decent year. 107 WRC plus. He provided a ton of versatility. Switch hitter. I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. He's currently 6th in the odds, according to PointsBet. I really like the pick. He's probably not going to win it, obviously, because your hammer of a pick is going to win it. But I thought it was a good choice.
I had Sixto Sanchez. He didn't pitch.
Yeah.
I told you not to.
Who'd you have, Chief?
Not Jonathan India, though I did like the pick. But that I was not willing to go that far out on a limb. I can promise you that. So I don't know what the hell happened, because off the air, I told you guys Trevor Rogers, and then we started recording and I turned into a coward and I didn't say Trevor Rogers, and I said Ke'Bryan Hayes as my favorite, which, that being said, Ke'Bryan Hayes, in my opinion, was like the Rookie of the Year version of Trout, where if he's healthy, there's no way he loses. I mean, he already has a 1.2 WAR this season, despite not being that great offensively since coming back from injury. I just think the defense is too good. He's finally heating up at the plate. I think he's going to have a massive year next year, but unfortunately, that would have been a bad bet with not that great odds. My dark horse, I went 2 as the prospect guy. I went Ian Anderson plus 750. Theme, not healthy the whole year, and Jazz Chisholm at plus 3,000. Chisholm had a pretty good year, but just not nearly consistent enough to even be considered.
Those are two good picks, actually. I mean, Anderson is now 5th currently in odds, and Jazz is 7th currently in odds. So you had a good showing. I would say you had a good showing.
Could have sold the ticket for a slight profit,
but not a better showing than Mr. McMullen. Now you stand up and take a goddamn bow. Let the people know, all right?
I'm going to sit the rest of this podcast out. I can't get any better. I can't get any better.
Jonathan India and Shohei Ohtani. Unbelievable. Jack McMullen.
India plus 4,400. And I went back and I found the tweet from March 30th where we clipped it and put it out on Twitter. And Aram replied and said, "Can't believe Vegas is hiding these odds in plain sight." Plus 4,400, man.
That's actually a great quote. I wish I knew I said that.
Aram, right. Do you remember when he convinced us and we were both kind of sitting there? He had a fantastic argument. Jack, I kind of want you to go over it again, because when you told it to me, I put money on it. Like I have 10 to win 440.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, you owe Jack.
I have 10 to win 440 because of what you said. And now when he wins.
Wow. India is now minus 1,100, right?
I think he's minus 1,100. No, he's minus 1,250 now.
He's minus 1,250.
According to PointsBet.
My God, man. And he's plus 4,400 when we put that down on March 30th.
That's too crazy.
What I said about India was what I got from C. Trent Rosecrans, who's the athletic writer for the Reds. I mean, from Bobby Nightingale, who writes for the Cincinnati Enquirer. Like, everybody was on Jonathan India. And that was the case at the 2020 alternate site. That was the case through spring training in 2021. And then all of a sudden you see MLB Trade Rumors put out the blast that D. Gordon got released by Cincinnati. That cleared the way for a rookie to start on opening day at second base, be the everyday second baseman for a team that we knew could possibly contend in a top flight offense in the second most hitter-friendly ballpark in Major League Baseball. It's easy to put $1 down on that. It's so easy to put $1 down on that, because even if India is not that great, he's still going to hit 15 bombs this year because he plays at Great American Ballpark and he's playing every day. That's how the Reds work. With India, he's really good. And if you take a really good player and put him in a lineup every day at Great American Ballpark and he's a rookie, then he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
And to build off of that, you take a guy like that who also has a fantastic approach. Even if he didn't hit a ton, let's say he was hitting more in the 240 range, he's always walked in the minors. The power was, we never knew what that was quite going to be like, but like you said, he was going to hit at least 15. And if you're walking at a 12, 13% clip like he has, you're going to be in the consideration. And there's been years where there's just no rookie that stands out and that's worth the odds at plus 4,400. I still can't believe it now times a million, but even then I was shocked at those odds, and that was a sick pick.
He's just got to take some grounders in the offseason. He's not been too good defensively, but God, does he rake, and he deserves it. And it's funny, Jack, your dark horse plus 4,400 lock, your favorite, didn't pitch.
No, didn't pitch.
And my dark horse. So I was in love with this guy. I thought he was going to be sick. Ha-Seong Kim plus 1,800 played 110 games this year. He's provided some defensive versatility. I mean, he hit 30 home runs in the KBO in 2020. And I love that he was a professional hitter. I thought the Padres were going to be good, but I was actually, and we're going to talk about this on Friday, I was a little bit down on the Padres in our preseason. And I mean, right now, I'm going to go over it because we got to talk about the Padres. Can I talk about how average they've been?
This is a nice spin zone from Ha-Seong Kim.
Sure.
Yeah, because I gotta, move it away from my bad take.
That was actually very smart of you to say he provides defensive versatility, because defensive versatility means that he can't hit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a code.
Yeah, it's a code word.
But I did say that about Dylan Carlson. That's not true. Dylan Carlson can hit and actually does provide defensive versatility. So here are the hitting ranks for the San Diego Padres this year. It's where they stack up in all of Major League Baseball. They're hitting 241 as a team. That's 14th. They have a 97 WRC plus. That's 13th. They have a 17.8 FWAR. That's 15th. 312 WOBA. That's 17th. Pitching 3.95 ERA, 12th. 4.10 FIP, 12th. 12.5 WAR, 18th. And then fielding, 18th in defensive runs saved, 19th in UZR, 13 outs above average to put them at 11. Just an average team this year.
Okay, so what that actually tells me is they were top flight in everything in the first half and they're bottom flight in everything in the second half. So they just regressed back to being an average team.
That's what I was saying. And if you look at the whole year, it's just crazy to think that the Padres, in terms of where they're going to stack up at the end of the season, will just be middle of the pack.
They're only 5 games over 500.
Yeah.
Maybe even that. They might be 4
I think
games
they're 3. Aren't they 76 and 73?
Maybe. We were not expecting the Padres to be a 500 team into the season.
Neither was AJ Preller, neither were the Padres players. I can promise you that. It's a little bit of unfortunate circumstances for them too, which we talked about on yesterday's episode, which was just, you have Lamet go down. Clevenger doesn't come back, obviously. Gore, you thought would be a piece for you. So there's been some unfortunate things.
Weathers has
been hurt and he's out for season. So there's been just a lot of unfortunate circumstances. You're probably expecting more out of Ha-Seong Kim. I know you're expecting more out of Jurickson Profar, who you paid to bring back. What's crazy to me about Kim is that he hit 30 home runs in the KBO. I wouldn't take him to hit 30 home runs in Williamsport.
Right. So I was like, okay, he's a professional hitter. He's going to come over and he's going to perform like a professional, but he just came over and just can't hit.
He's got some dope hair though. Didn't he get some like frosted tips?
Sweet hair, frosted tips, I think.
Yeah, but he's got like a 68 WRC plus though.
It's fine.
That's fine. It's one off of being an awesome WRC plus. Let's talk manager of the year real quick. We can breathe.
Yes.
My favorite in the American League was TLR. TLR might mess around and win it.
So I want to hear Peter's favorite, his very objective favorite.
My favorite was Aaron Boone at plus 500. My take was the Yankees were going to get hurt. And we'll talk about it on Friday's episode because we're going over all the win totals. We did our over-under. That was on episode 4. And I had the Yankees above 95.5 wins. I thought they were going to get hurt all year. And I thought they were going to win the division with Boone. I thought it was going to add up. The narrative was going to be there, right? Just isn't there. They're 4th in the division. Yankee fans are screaming at Boone's neck, which I've always thought he's gotten so much slack. I mean, so much flack, not enough slack.
Not enough slack.
So much flack.
Okay.
I don't think he's as bad as what everyone's saying. This team, there's something wrong because they go from the best to the worst. They're so hot and cold. They're so volatile. It can't be just a manager thing. Like, I don't think we bring someone else in and instantly now we click.
Hey, Pete, welcome to your new city. In New York City, people don't give anybody any slack and everything is hot and cold at all times. That's how New York is. That's how the Yankees are. Usually, teams are representation of the community that they're in, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I'm pretty hot and cold on the Yankees too, so I get it. I just don't think Boone should be getting as much flack as he's been getting.
There's a lot of swing and miss in that lineup, and I think when you have that kind of power and that kind of swing and miss, it's just going to be up and down, and that's exactly what we've seen. And then the pitching too. I mean, even Garrett Cole, he's been spectacular this year, but every once in a while he has these blow up starts that we're not really accustomed to seeing from him. It's been interesting. And then you look at the first half and the second half with Aroldis Chapman, it's just a lot of inconsistency from very volatile players at this point in their career. But for me, I went Charlie Montoyo. Not bad, not great, just kind of in the middle. I think the Jays have really come alive in the second half, more like the last quarter of the season here. But they'll make the playoffs, I think, and there's a good chance they will, but that's kind of what the expectation was anyways. So not good, not bad, kind of indifferent.
NL manager of the year. I, like an idiot, said Jace Tingler.
Oh, we got to talk about our dark horses.
Yeah.
Before we get in the NL.
Sorry,
I mean, okay. Aram and I both had Bob Melvin, who at plus 950, do we think he can win? Because I think Tony La Russa is probably going to win, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's probably going to win.
Dang it. That was a good bet. I got 10 to win 95 on that.
I liked it. It was a good bet. It really was a good bet. Bob Melvin, I mean, you got Oakland anytime at plus 950. I'm happy with Bob Melvin, and it just, they weren't quite good enough. They faded. I think if they finished strong, I mean, they were in a really good place. They
got Starling Marte, exactly, and then they start, and then
the pitching faded. You had
Bassett
at one point, Bassett, of course, Bassett, which thank goodness it's nothing. We'll see how he comes back on the mound. It affects everybody differently, but thank goodness life-wise that he's okay, because that was really scary. But Bassett was looking like a solid number 2. Manaea has hit a bit of a wall. Montes even has slowed down. It just was this all at times
unreal.
Yeah, last start I didn't like what I saw, unless I'm crazy.
Yeah, he just pitched against the Angels. He pitched pretty well. The under hit. That's why I know.
Okay, so he's okay. He's okay. Maybe I'm projecting, but overall they just slowed down, and the bullpen did too. And I'm surprised though, because they went and got Marte, especially you like offset the Laureano issue, and it just hasn't all come together for them in the second half, and they're kind of fading out of it. So not a bad bet again, but just not great either.
Yep. I had Joe Madden. That's not gonna hit.
Yeah, so, the Angels. You were high on the Angels in episode 4.
Was I?
You had the Angels as your division winner.
It's because he knew they had a top 3 third baseman.
Is that beef?
NL manager of the year. I had Jace Tingler like an idiot. Who'd you guys have?
I had Dave Roberts, who probably won't win because the Giants are going to win 105 games and Gabe Kapler is going to win it, I think. But I still liked my pick of Dave Roberts, and it was under the assumption that the Dodgers would win 110 games and that they would just kind of hand it to him because he would create the greatest team ever. I think if Bauer doesn't go down and they still add Scherzer, that
if Bauer doesn't take himself down.
I keep saying going down. I'm just going to stop mentioning his name. But moving on from Dave Roberts, I think we're going to miss that one. Plus 450.
Safe. It's kind of like our MVP bets. I liked my pick, and I still think it's not a bad pick. Mike Schilt. And not only did he have a really good back end of the season here, and it looks like the Cardinals could be in the driver's seat here for the wild card, given that they've had a lot of adversity too, right? You lose your ace for the season, essentially. I mean, I know Flaherty's been healthy at points, but they've really lost him for a majority of the year. They've had a lot of wild cards in their season. Carlson was hurt for portions of the year. They've stayed afloat. Paul DeYoung's been atrocious, but they've stayed afloat. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, he shouldn't get it over Kapler or even Craig Counsell, but there's definitely a level of like, aside from my bet, a pat on the back there for Schilt. I thought he did a great job of keeping them in it and keeping them focused to be able to sneak in here through the back door. My dark horse was not great. Luis Rojas, not great. He might get fired. The Mets suck. And I'll wear that one. That's on me for thinking the Mets would do something well. That's just on me.
My dark horse, really, when you look back, I still think it was a good selection, but I really just thought the Nationals would be better than they were. And then obviously they had a fire sale. So Dave Martinez, I had as my dark horse NL manager there plus 1,200. I thought everyone was sleeping on them and they were going to prove. I thought Juan Soto, everyone was going to take steps up. Scherzer, got traded. Strasburg was hurt. Corbin has been terrible. My thinking was the opposite of that, what was going to happen. I thought they were going to shock the world, and they just shocked me by being this bad.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, we're going to go through Major League Baseball's home run, strikeout, and save leaders, which is what we locked in. Starting with the home run leaders, Vlad Guerrero and Sal Perez are both at 46 now. Shohei Ohtani at 44. Marcus Semien. Shout out Marcus Semien. He's at 40. In terms of me, I had Joey Gallo plus 1,300 as my favorite. I had Yordan Alvarez plus 2,000 as my dark horse. Both not good.
I put $10 to win $440 on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to lead Major League Baseball in home runs. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say about that.
Your boy Stanton hurt me again on this one. I figured if I'm picking him to win the MVP as a dark horse, then he's going to be hitting home runs. I was betting on his health. He stayed healthy and he didn't hit as many home runs. And it's kind of weird. I mean, he's had a good year, like we said, but plus 2,000 overall home run leader. And then I got bit by the Jack bug and went Christian Yelich and at plus 4,000. And yeah.
Dude, $10 to win 440 on Vladdy.
That's sick.
You like that?
I mean, you were just on the Vladdy train.
Oh, he was on it. He was all in on the he lost weight narrative. We were together in Florida, and we were together, which was great. It was like spring training time. No spring break because of COVID, but Peter was in town, and we were talking about it. And I was like, dude, is this like skinny Vladdy stuff kind of smoke and beer? Like, it sounds great, but it almost sounds too good. And he's like, I don't care. Look at his swing. I'm buying it. And I was like, I'm in. But I didn't lay anything on it. Peter was all in on.
I was looking at Baseball Savant. I just see like piss missile after piss
just in
missile,
the ground.
no matter who's hitting it. Everything was hard. I think he led in barrels by like 8 over the previous. I was like, this is going to be Miguel Cabrera. This is going to be one of the greatest hitters of our generation, in my opinion. And I think he's just going to continue to do that. I think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm so far in on this dude. He's not going to win MVP. And I've kind of been on the Ohtani train, which has taken away my love for Vladdy, especially because he's on the Blue Jays and I'm a Yankee fan. But I am in awe every single time I watch a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. game.
Dude, absolutely nutty. Major League Baseball's strikeout leaders. I'm going to extend saying the top 5 to saying the top 6 because 6 is my guy. Robbie Ray is leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts. Garrett Cole is 2. Zach Wheeler at 3. Max Scherzer at 4. Corbin Burns at 5. And Dylan effing Cease is at 6. In terms of me, I had Shane Bieber as my favorite to lead, and then I had Blake Snell and Walker Buehler. Buehler I like, Bieber I'll take, Snell, God damn it.
Snell was also my dark horse. And we talked about it, Jack. We both thought after game 6, he got taken out. He's going to come back with an absolute vengeance. And he just hasn't been that great this year. But he's been terrible on the road. Over 6 ERA on the road, 2.5 ERA at home. It's like these home road splits this year for some of these guys. We talked about Tyler Mahle, Ohtani. Some of these guys are they're abysmal on the road and they're amazing at home. And Mally's the opposite. He's terrible at home and great on the road. But I had Garrett Cole plus 450 to lead baseball in strikeouts. I said he was going to have 330 strikeouts this year. Probably won't touch that mark. May have been a bit ambitious, but he is second, and he's second at odds, and he probably won't get there. Maybe, probably not. Outside,
I get. We'll know after today. We'll have a really good idea. Robbie Ray's got him by 2 strikeouts. Let's say Robbie Ray goes 5 and only strikes out a couple. Then it's wide open. It's going to come down to like whoever has that one extra start that fits in there towards the end. But the amazing thing with Robbie Ray is that he came out of nowhere. I don't even know what the odds were on him because none of us took him. I did not think it would be him. My dark horse / pick, I guess I only gave a dark horse, which was stupid. I just have the note here from Peter, didn't pick another one like an idiot. But I had Luis Castillo, who checks in at 20th. Terrible first half. Fantastic second half, but it's a marathon, not a sprint, and he just didn't set himself up for a chance to really be able to do it with that first half that he had.
I'm going to see Luis Castillo on Wednesday. Going to a day game at Great American Ballpark.
It should be a packed house. Actually, it might be now that they're good. I was like going to make fun of them, but I can't. There's probably going to be people there
against the Pirates on a Wednesday at 12:30.
Oh, never mind.
There might be 12 people there.
I'm going to be one of them. I'm excited.
One of 12.
Save leaders. I had Liam Hendricks as my favorite. I had Alex Colomé as my dark horse because I thought for some reason that they were going to be good. The Twins were not. And the save leaders, as it stands now, Mark Melancon at 37. You've got Liam Hendricks and Kenley Jansen at 34. And then 2 at 33 are Josh Hader and the Braves' Will Smith.
I also had Liam Hendricks as my dark horse. As my favorite, at plus 650. But I had Will Smith at plus 3,300 for the Braves.
That's good.
Yeah, pretty good. Plus 3,300, and he's up there.
Yeah.
Take it. Was he going to lead the league? I don't know, but I saw an opening for one of the best teams in the National League. was already good for the Giants. I was like, 3,300 is too much, but he's not going to win it.
Mine sucked. My guy's already on like his third team this year. Brad Hand. What the hell?
When I was listening back, why did you pick him?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, that was one of picks too, but that one seemed. I mean, I guess it didn't. Brad Hand has been good.
I was thinking about Hand, and I was like, okay, I'm looking for somebody with the best odds that I know won't lose the closer job. And well, here's the thing: if Hand didn't suck, nobody's eating into his saves. So that's what I was looking at, because there's so many places, so many teams that go by committee or that have guys come in and take 12, 13 saves a year away from the guy that usually has 30. I'm like, that's not happening in Washington. And I mean, I guess it didn't, but he was also shipped out of town and then shipped out of town again. And now he's a Met. And that's like full circle of depression for the tail end of your baseball career. So yeah, I definitely whiffed on that one. And unfortunately, not enough hitters whiffed on what he was throwing.
What are we watching this week, Pete?
I can't watch the Yankees anymore. I tweeted out, they were down 2-0 in the first inning. Garrett Cole gave up 2 runs. I'm like, we're not scoring another run. We scored 1 run the entire game. We lost 11-1. What should I watch? Because I don't want to watch the Yankees.
You should watch Blue Jays Rays. You should watch Cards Brewers. And you should watch Giants Padres.
That actually sounds amazing. And we also, on Friday, we are going to go over all of our win over under totals courtesy of PointsBet odds. Jack, you had a lot of incredible predictions and some that I got to go after you about. But me too.
I understand.
We got a good guest coming up soon too. Confirmed pitching ninja coming on the podcast as well. So that's going to be fun. We're going to talk about the Cy
Youngs. We got to give him our picks. I wonder if he had any preseason. Does he gamble? Probably not.
He's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. He's like a family man. Not to say that if you gamble, you're not a nice guy, but he just seems like the most pure person ever. I don't even see him wagering money.
He's my single favorite.
It would mean that it's coming away from somebody else. So that's why I don't see him wagering money.
He's my single favorite person on baseball Twitter.
He's amazing.
Favorite person on baseball Twitter.
He's amazing.
He just lifts people up.
Yeah.
Just wait till certain types of people get a hold of him.
There's no bullshit. It's just pitching overlays. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want.
Yeah. It's like the actual game, and you get to see intricacies of what makes pitchers great. Yeah. His story on it too is really cool. I'm really excited to be able to talk to him a little bit. Obviously, we're going to focus more on the Cy Young stuff and everything like that. But I mean, what a rise to prominence for that guy. Was doing it for fun to help his son and his friends in college baseball. And everybody was like, "Oh, can you post these more? Like, I love this. I love this." And a couple years later, he's got 300,000 followers, and you'll find out soon. Couldn't happen to a better guy. He's one hell of a dude, just kind person.
Dude, that's awesome. All right. So Peter knows how to do all the plugging social stuff.
No, I want you to do it.
No, I've learned how to do it. I've got
Oh, yeah. All right. Aram, it's your turn. Plug all of the socials.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. We got Twitter, which is Just BB Media. We've got Instagram, which is Just Baseball Fans. TikTok, Just Baseball Fans. We've got a Discord where you can catch that link over on our Twitter. It's also Just Baseball. And then we have, what else am I missing? What am I missing? A lot. Of course, like and subscribe. You can't, that's YouTube. Rate the pod. God.
How about Twitch? Twitch.
We have a website, justbaseball.com.
You know what? We haven't been
we have
plugging the website at the end at justbaseball.com.
Yeah, justbaseball.com, where I put all of my hours too, but I'll just mention that in passing too, I guess. And then we've got a Twitch. And we're going to start doing some really fun stuff on that Twitch too, at Just Baseball Fans. How'd I do?
We are not just baseball. How about the 3 individuals that are on here? What are our personal Twitter handles?
I'm a wee guy. I'm not an I guy.
All right. I'm at Peter Apple 23. That's Jack _McMullen 11. And that's Arm Late 8. I got it all right here. I know exactly your Twitter handles.
Yeah. That shows you that me and Peter are selfless and Aram is not.
I think you got it backwards.
All right.
So before we go, highlights. I had Corbin Burns plus 4,000. You had Jonathan India plus 4,400.
I had nothing.
Aram had Jesus Luzardo plus 10,000.
I had Brad Hand.
I
had Trevor Rogers, just not on air.
I can confirm you did tell me that at your house before the season started. And I remember thinking, I think I asked you after the pod was over, why not Trevor Rogers?
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, why? I've been annoying you about this, and then I have a chance to document it.
You convinced me. You convinced me.
Yeah, clearly I didn't convince my subconscious.
And Jack McMullen, here? I owe you a dinner for 10 to win 440 on Jonathan India. I will take you out to dinner.
Perfect.
Out here, you don't have to be in Fort Wayne anymore. Manhattan time.
I'm in New York City mid-October, so we will get that done.
Ooh, for some playoff baseball.
Name the time and the place, and I'm there. And thank you, everybody.